morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Olivia and Fred. Thanks so much. We do start here with breaking news right now. A man from Taylor's is dead after being hit by a pickup truck while directing traffic. Greenville County deputies were called to the intersection of East Street and Terramount Drive yesterday after 5 p.m. and that's where they found 40-year-old Cesar Pena, who was struck by at least one vehicle while directing traffic for his employer. The coroner's office tells us that Pena was wearing a reflective vest when he was struck. He died later at the hospital. The incident remains under investigation.
A former Anderson County School Board member and former deputy is now facing additional charges.
He was arrested earlier this month for reportedly sexually abusing a teen. Today, deputies charged 48-year-old Greg Hayden with 2 additional counts of criminal sexual abuse with a minor. Deputies say the charges stem during the time Hayden was a school resource officer nearly 20 years ago at Wren High School. Authorities say he abused 2 teenage boys during the 2004 and 2005 school year. Hayden is set to appear before a judge this afternoon.
At 4 right now in Anderson, a woman was treated by EMS following an apartment fire today. The Anderson Fire Department responded to Anderson Crossing Apartments around 11 a.m. Crews say the fire was contained to one apartment and was caused by an electrical or mechanical issue. The woman was treated on scene and released.
8 on South Carolina's death row, convicted of killing 2 law officers, had a competency hearing in Greenville today. A judge will now decide if the execution will go forward. Our Julia Keener was in the courtroom and has this story.
Stephen Bixby's execution was set for May but was halted by the South Carolina Supreme Court. His attorneys say he's mentally unstable and can't understand the evidence against him.
Would you agree that Mr. Bixby understands that he's been sentenced to death?
Bixby was convicted in 2007 for killing Abbeville County Sheriff's Deputy Danny Wilson and State Constable Donnie Oots. Video shows the shootout that happened at his home back in 2003. Bixby, now 57, has been on death row for 22 years. His defense team is asking for a stay, pointing to a report from a clinical psychologist who spent 15 hours evaluating Bixby earlier this year. The report says Bixby's bizarre beliefs make it impossible for him to understand even basic legal procedures.
I think he has some very severe misperceptions of what their roles are, such that he is unable to communicate with them in ways that would be helpful given the, where we are in the proceedings.
He says Bixby's suffering from a number of mental health issues, including severe narcissistic personality disorder and paranoid personality disorder.
His symptoms of personality disorder are more severe than almost anybody I've seen before.
According to the doctor, Bixby can't help with his own defense or grasp what's happening in court.
He believes that at this hearing, he'll have an opportunity to address the court and lay out his complaints about the history of the proceedings in this case in such a way that will lead to his exoneration and release.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
And legal history?
Julia Keener reporting there. After hearing all the testimony, a judge will decide if Bixby will be executed or not. Stay tuned as we continue to monitor this case to find that decision.
Back out to the roads now. South Carolina's roads are busier than ever, and the money to fix them and expand them is not keeping up.
7 News' State House reporter Caroline Yaffa tells us how a committee of lawmakers is working with the DOT to find solutions.
For the first time, DOT Secretary Justin Powell spoke in front of this committee, sharing accomplishments and the progress that the DOT has made in recent years. But he also expressed a few funding concerns.
Ultimately, you can supercharge the engine as much as you can, but ultimately you've got to put fuel in the tank. Paying for all of this will require new funds.
The current annual budget for the SCDOT is over $2.7 billion, and they are responsible for South Carolina's highways, which is the 4th largest state highway system in the nation, with 41,000 miles.
You know, South Carolina is the 4th fastest growing state in the nation. We have some of the most dangerous roads, especially our rural roads. We are seeing congestion that we have never seen before.
The last time the state passed a major funding bill for roads was back in 2017. But Powell says that money was never meant to cover the rapid growth the state is seeing now.
The reality of what we are facing and why this committee was formed is that the South Carolina of 2025 and the South Carolina that will be going beyond 2025 is very different than South Carolina in 2017. And that's going to require us to take a look at changing business.
Powell says he hopes this committee will address congestion as well.
Congestion mitigation fees on development that is causing this new congestion, or considering choice lanes like those done in Florida and North Carolina and Georgia, where you can help alleviate traffic in our most congested areas.
He says for the DOT to keep up with their Momentum 2050 plan, which includes system recovery and interstate investment, he needs more money.
Recent federal laws have allowed us to increase funding for bridges and for interstates and congestion, and we've gotten several one-time grants to help us along. I don't think Washington's place we can always look to, as we had in the past, to provide funds for our projects into the future.
Powell says another challenge is the funding gap between drivers. Gas-powered vehicle owners contribute about $200 a year, but electric vehicle owners pay around $60 annually towards state road maintenance. In Columbia, Caroline Yaffa, 7 News.
And this committee will be meeting all over the state in the off session to hear public testimony from South Carolinians. The next meeting is September 10th in Greenville. Greenville County Council is proposing some new regulations for food trucks. 7 News' Lauren Miller tells us about the safety measures and zoning changes that are up for debate.
Greenville County is taking a closer look on where food trucks can be and for how long.
It allows for food trucks to be set up in proper areas, not to be set up in residential areas.
J.J. Arrowwood, the fire marshal for the Berea Fire Department, says the ordinance ensures trucks get permission from property owners.
I've had several people call me and say that a food truck was in the wrong area and if I could remove them, and I don't have that ability.
The ordinance adds that trucks cannot be parked in one place for more than a day unless there is a special event. Harold Smith was a food truck owner for about 5 years. He's taken some time off, but says he's noticed the popularity of them and how some will hang around a little too long.
It's a food truck, it's mobile. It's not supposed to be set up. If they want to be set up, they need a brick and mortar. So I'm for it.
Right now, food trucks are required to have a fire suppression system.
The fire suppression system goes over the cooking where they cook your food. So if there's a fire and it gets to a certain temperature, that suppression system would disengage and it would put product out to help suppress the fire.
It's been established with a safety checklist, but Arrowwood says the ordinance ensures those systems will be put in the right place. He supports this proposal because around 3 years ago,
we had 13 in our area and I inspected 10 of them and had to shut them down due to the fact is they did not have a fire suppression system.
The ordinance also details that food trucks cannot impede traffic or block necessary parking spaces, must adhere to the noise ordinance, and so on. This ordinance has only had its first reading. No vote has been made. In Greenville County, Lauren Miller, 7 News.
The fire marshal tells us the ordinance still needs to go through 3 readings before anything can be passed.